Okay, Numbers chapter 10, we're going to learn a bit more about their journeying, how some of the things happened and transpired as they journeyed in the wilderness. So the cloud, like we learned last time, moves, tabernacle gets taken down, gets packaged up, and gets hauled to the next location. So we're going to learn a bit more about that moving process. Silver trumpets are used to call assemblies and to blow alarms. The cloud is taken from the tabernacle. The children of Israel march forth in the prescribed order. The Ark of the Covenant goes before them in their journeyings. That's an important point. Okay, verse 1, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly and for the journeying of the camps. When they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. If they blow but with 1 trumpet, then the princes, which are heads of households of Israel, shall gather themselves unto thee. So they built trumpets so they could use them as an alert system. If you blow both trumpets, you made 2, basically, is what it's saying here. Made 2 trumpets. If you used both trumpets, then everybody was called to the tabernacle. Okay, and you got to realize there's what was it, 2 or 3 chapters ago we talked about, there's probably about 1.2 million people in the children of Israel. So this is a large area. So they needed a way to communicate quickly that would travel a long ways. And so a trumpet is a great way to do that. So if both trumpets are sounded, that means everybody come to the door of the tabernacle. If only 1 trumpet is sounded, then the princes or the leaders of the tribes will come together at the door of the tabernacle. Basically, when ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward. When ye blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeyings. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, ye shall blow, but ye shall not sound an alarm. So there was a way to blow into them that made them sound an alarm versus an announcement. How they blew into them and the sound they made. So if you blew an alarm, then there's things that were to be done. Let's see, verse 8, the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow at the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. If ye go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and ye shall be remembered before the Lord your God, and ye shall be saved from your enemies. Now, verse 9's got a couple things that are really important for us to look at. Okay, one is it says, if you go to war with an enemy that oppresseth you. So they can't go to war to be the aggressor. They're going to war because the other enemy is oppressing. The enemy is attacking them, making their lives bad, and so they are defending. That is a very important point. God says if you are defending your families and your land, okay, and you blow these trumpets and you go to war, I will help you. That's the important point. If you become the aggressor army, it doesn't work. Basically, you're on your own. So God has made that clear. If you are the defending army, if you are defending, not the aggressor, then he will help you. Now, verse 10, also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days and in the beginning of your months, ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Lord your God. So when you're announcing the feasts, announcing the holidays, you blow the trumpets, basically is what that says. When you're performing the certain ordinances and feasts and things, that's when you're going to use those to announce it. Verse 11, it came to pass on the 20th day of the 2nd month in the 2nd year that the cloud was taken up from off the tabernacle of the testimony. Remember we learned last chapter, when the cloud moves up, goes off the tabernacle, it's time to move. So verse 12, and the children of Israel took their journeys out of the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud rested in the wilderness of Paran. So there's another area that they're moving to out of Sinai towards Paran. Verse 13, they first took their journey according to the commandment of the Lord by the hand of Moses. In the first place went the standard of the camp of the children of Judah according to their armies, and over his host was Nashon, the son of Amminadab. And so now they're going through and talking about there's an order of which tribes go when as they march. And then there's the standard of the camp. So these are the flags, basically, in a way, kind of a title of liberty, if you will, type idea for each of the tribes that is going before them, basically. So they go through this, and then this is the next family, the next tribe that does it, next tribe that goes through this. Now, verse 21 talks about Kohathites, that they're bearing the sanctuary, and the other did set up the tabernacle against they came. So there is a gentleman by the name of Kohath that he was mentioned a couple of chapters ago. Their family, they are Levites. They are a specific family of Levites. Their job is to take apart and move the tabernacle, the inner tabernacle, and the sanctuary, and some of the other items in there. So they are to carry it, and they are to move it. That's their duty, is to move it. That's like their family calling, is to do that. So that's what they're there to do. They're a tribe of Levi, basically. Okay, so if we jump down, though, to verse 29, we learn something here. Now Moses said unto Hobab, who's the son of Raguel, or Reuel, the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are journeying unto the place of which the Lord said, I will give it to you. Come thou with us, and we will do thee good, for the Lord has spoken good concerning Israel. So Moses goes to his father-in-law and talks to his father-in-law's son. So this is Hobab is Moses's brother-in-law, okay? This is important. Now, in the book Introduction to the Old Testament, Rasmussen has this to say. He says, Hobab, brother-in-law of Moses, was persuaded, though at first unwilling, to accompany Israel and to be to them instead of eyes, or to serve as a guide. Although Jehovah gave general directions, Hobab knew the area and could help locate specific trails, campsites, etc. That he and his family went and did become heirs to lands in the land of Israel is apparent later from the book of Judges and Samuel, as was later also mentioned in Jeremiah, wherein that prophet cites them as exemplary for integrity. So Moses says, come help us. Guide us to the promised land, basically. And in verse 30, Hobab says, I will not go, but I will depart to mine own land and to my kindred. And Moses says, leave us not, I pray thee, for as much as thou knowest, as much as thou knowest how we are to encamp in the wilderness, and thou mayest be to us instead of eyes. And if it shall be, if thou go with us, yea, it shall be, what goodness the Lord shall do unto us, the same will he do unto thee. So what Moses is saying is, look, we need a guide. We need someone who knows this land. Okay, the Midianites were a righteous group of people that did not go to Egypt, but they are a group of people, okay, Moses's in-laws, and they had the priesthood, basically. So they're probably descendants somewhere along the lines to either maybe even Isaac or Abraham, or maybe they're part of Jacob's tribes, but broke off and went on their own, basically, and didn't go to Egypt all the way, or maybe they fled Egypt early. We don't 100% know for sure. You can look up in the Bible dictionary some more on them and do some more studies. If you have more information on the Midianites, feel free to add that into the comments and share with the rest of us. We'd appreciate that. So he wants him to be a guide. And he says, if you come with us, the Lord will take care of you like he's done the children of Israel, meaning you'll get a land of inheritance, just like the rest of us. So finally he says, okay, we'll do it. This is verse 33. They departed from the mount of the Lord 3 days' journey, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord went before them in the 3 days' journey to search out a resting place for them. The cloud of the Lord was upon them by day when they went out of the camp. It came to pass when the ark set forward that Moses said, Rise up, Lord, and let thine enemies be scattered, and let them that hate thee flee before thee. And when it rested, he said, Return, O Lord, unto the many thousands of Israel. So whenever they traveled, the Ark of the Covenant, which is kind of their most sacred thing, was in the beginning, on the front of this whole train of people moving through the desert. And that's going to play some interesting roles later on in the Old Testament. We're going to see as we go along. So that's how they would travel, basically, with that in front of them. And they had Hobab, Moses' brother-in-law, to help guide them to the promised land, because he knew the area, he knew the territory, so he could help them. And he does get an inheritance with the children of Israel in the promised land for doing that. So thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next chapter.